heart out.
Hi, I'm Kayla Ogden.
And I'm Rachel Sear.
And this is
Write Your Heart Out.
Here We Are Together.
Woohoo! And now we're bi-weekly, which hopefully is good for you guys.
Yeah, you don't have to listen to us as much. It wasn't about at all not wanting to meet up and chat. It's like I could meet when we first started podcasting. I remember we were so gung-ho. It's like we wanted to do it every other day.
Like, yeah, just come on over. Let's just do this. Yeah.
I mean, I still have those vibes, but the only thing that is, the only hang up is just like the editing process is kind of long because Kayla does it herself to speak in third person.
I was going to say, wow, third person.
Kayla does it herself, and Kayla doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. So it takes longer than it probably would for most. Today we're going to talk about editing, which it's going to be good, guys.
Yes.
Rachel, are you in your first draft or your second draft? Or?
So I don't even know. What's the lingo there? So I have my first draft. It was a full book.
Yeah. You wrote it in just feverishly at like 4 a.m.s and 5 a.m.s in the morning.
Yes.
Over the course of
a month.
So that's your first draft.
Right.
And then now you're halfway through your second draft.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what, yes.
This is your first pass of the editing.
Exactly.
Okay. And then for me, my book, I know what it needs now. Like something got unlocked in me, and now I'm doing what we call like a developmental edit.
Sure.
Yeah. So how is your editing going?
So it's a slow plugging away. It's so much more tedious than everything else that was fun.
It's not fun.
It's not as fun. And then I'm finding, as I go, little holes that then I'm able to fix in the moment, which is good. It's a lot more of like, oh, this interaction doesn't actually make sense with how the book ends. So I needed to fix that interaction and then add a little bit more later so that you understand why that interaction happened. To just dive right in. The killer changed. Like,
whoa. On this pass through?
It makes so much more sense, and I can have so much more fun with the undercutting, and like I can do a lot more with the nuance of how they speak to each other if it's this other character.
Can I ask you, and I won't include it in the pod?
Sure.
Is it the husband?
No. Wait, who's gonna kill him?
Yeah.
No.
Kill him? Oh, the evil guy dies.
I don't want to.
Oh my God! Okay. I'm done.
Okay, you can keep any of that since you got nowhere.
You got nowhere. Okay, obviously.
Well, no, take that out, Sam. I don't want to.
Don't take the part out, Sam. Yeah. Okay.
This character was a big character, and then I have to kind of beef up her motives. So there's a lot of like undercurrent in what she says that needs to become more present. Like it needs to become more apparent in like her actions. And actually the thought of it came during one of our conversations of like how I can add more undercurrent to what she's saying. And it has to come from thisness, like that's where it has to come. There's no other way, because like she can't say it, and we're not in her head. It's not Sam's, and she's first person.
Yes.
So it has to come from something else, and it's been fun.
Yes.
And I feel like I'm good at it in the moments, but like finding the scenes with this character and adding those moments is like a lot of notes to take.
I think, it reminds me of the idea that when the reader gets to the murder or the reveal of who the murderer was, that they want to have figured it out like 2 beats before you tell them.
Right, yeah.
Which is, I don't know if you can really plan for that, but they also want to be able to look back and tell themselves that it was all there, that it isn't it wasn't like, oh, someone snuck in through the window and did it, and we never could have figured that out.
Totally.
There needs to be, that undercurrent that you're talking about, and things that you can go, oh, damn, that's why she had sugar on her fingertips. Or,
totally.
Yeah, the thisness, like the little details.
The murder itself within the book is a little bit of a shock, right?
Oh, okay.
Like that, you don't really see that coming as far as I can tell. And I don't want it to be obvious there's going to be a murder coming.
Does the murderer, is it premeditated?
No. So like
Oh, but you have to show that
there was a
even
reason.
that there was a reason that
Yeah.
she has motive, that he or she has motive.
Right, exactly. But then also kind of give everyone a little bit of a motive. You know, like I don't.
Yeah, everyone else has to have a bit of a motive.
I want it.
It seems like this whole like dinner for 8 thing where there's like all these different characters and somebody's gonna die. It does seem like the thing to do it for everybody to have a little bit of a motive.
Right. And I as I started the book, it was very much of I wanted it to be a murder mystery and them to be playing a murder mystery game within the book, which they do. And life becomes art, which comes first. Like, life imitates art, sort of a thing. I don't know.
Because of your birth. Oh, because in the story, because the art is happening and then it happens. Right. Yeah. I was going to say because Rachel had her 40th birthday party.
Woo-hoo, I'm 40 now.
Woohoo! Oh my God. This was the best party I've ever been to.
Yay. And that was what I was going. I told you I had to focus a lot on it.
I know. She was like, I can't do that now. I am working on my party. I'm like, really? And then it turned out she told me she had 80 people coming to a dinner party, which was also a murder mystery party.
Dinner for 80.
Dinner for 80.
Dinner for 80. Oh my God. That's
Sean
funny.
didn't believe me when I said there were 80 people coming. He's like, no, they can't do a murder mystery with 80 people. Because we had been to one with like 20 people and we all were characters, like all the people. And we're like, how are 80 people going to be the characters? But then there were so many actors involved. There were like at least 10 actors.
10 actors, yeah.
And they basically put on a show for us and planted clues.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. Was there anything that you learned from that experience that's going to like imbue your book, whether it be details or bigger things? Or
So yes and no. There's a crew that works within my book that is like the dinner party crew. And so 2 servers and a chef who all work at this house. That I felt like was helpful, watching the way the actors worked together and kind of shifted roles throughout the night. Because at the beginning of the night, they were paparazzi. And they're the same people who then shifted into different characters for the actual mystery part. And I thought that was fun. And that hadn't occurred to me, that was a thing that they could do.
Oh, right, that they could be different things. Oh, I wanted to mention one detail. I don't know if you'll use it or not, but I went outside at one point and there were 2 actors from the show. And they were standing outside of the door and there was nobody else out there. And I went down to have a cigarette, let's be honest. And I just saw the 2 actors like talking to each other. And it looked like they were having a little bit of a breather, doing a little bit of shop talk, like, you know what I mean? Just having a sec. Then somebody else came out of the door and I think that they were coming down to talk to me, but then they saw the 2 actors and they started like hamming it up with the actors. They were like, oh, it's the maid and it's the this and like, your friend, whatever. And I just saw the actors like, they were so professional. They just sort of like shoulders back, straightened up, turned it right back on.
Oh, wow.
And started just, doing the party with the person again. Like they didn't let the person see behind the curtain.
Oh, yeah. Just you who was sneaking around.
But just me was going out and I was like looking at them and I was like, oh, you poor people. You just needed a second to breathe. And here comes Johnny Drunky McJoe coming out here being like, oh, hello, little maid. What do you say to me? Like, but hey, they were supposed to be. But I thought about that in terms of like a story, like the story, right?
Totally. I feel like that's very helpful, actually.
Like the humanity of the actors, like how it can like slip through.
Totally.
Or how they might just need a fucking break or something.
Totally.
But they did seem happy. They didn't seem like they were like, I need a fucking break.
Well, when are they in character? When are they not? Is like behind closed doors. At what point are they not in character anymore? Is a good little layer.
Oh my gosh. And you know what would be funny? Okay, I'm doing that thing again.
You are, but it's okay. I like it.
Is like if say so say you're like all in character and everything and you're in the party and you're acting like you're a newswoman and you're like, oh, what do you got the scoop? And then this other person's supposed to be like a king, and he's like, oh, my liege, and then you grab him and pull him into the closet to have like a real conversation, but then he like keeps on going with the character.
Like fully not understanding.
And you're like, no, shut up. We're just be you. That would be funny.
That would be funny. I don't have a moment like that in the book, but maybe I should add one.
You never know. Might
All
come
right.
up.
Well, so that's where I'm at. I still am using the physical copy of my book to, as like keeping me as a placeholder. And then as I'm adding notes, I'm finding it in the physical copy of the book and tucking the note in at that chapter so that I don't forget where it is instead of scrolling ahead in the Google Doc. Because if I scroll ahead in the Google Doc, then I'm fucked. I will go down that rabbit hole too quickly.
Oh, yeah. I was watching a video of a writer giving like 10 tips on editing just to kind of get my head in the space to record this. So she was saying, which I think is really good because I wasted so much time on this, editing line by line and taking out typos and also just adding words, fixating on sentences and that kind of stuff on the second pass or the third pass. You can do that, but for me, it wasted so much time because later on there was so much that got cut.
Sure, right.
And I'm cutting a lot of stuff right now. So what she was saying and what I think is really, really smart, and it sounds like what you're doing, is to do like on your second pass, more of a developmental edit.
Yes.
So you're not doing a line edit right away. So you're thinking about character arcs, you're thinking about the story structure, you're thinking about all the scenes and like, do I need this scene? What is the scene giving? Like, what's the conflict? How does this move everything forward? The reason I'm saying this is because she was like, saying that she used a hard copy for developmental edits for that reason.
I thought I was the only one.
Because it slows her down and she doesn't get like lost in the weeds.
Sure.
Yeah, you can totally, I can sit there and do a sentence for so long.
Sure, yeah. The nice thing about the hard copy is that anything glaringly grammatical pops out to me on a page, like on a physical page. So then as I'm going there in the book, on the Google Doc, I can fix that as I go. And I'm only fixing the glaring ones. And then honestly, I love grammatical editing. However, I don't think that that's going to be my place in this book. I think that I have to have someone else do it when it comes to that.
Oh.
Because I think that once I get to the place in what you were just talking about, the developmental editing, once I get to a place that I feel like that's good, I think I'm going to need to hand it off to somebody else to do the grammatical. Like, I think that that's when it...
That's smart.
Yeah, I don't think that I'm the girl for that job.
Yeah.
What did you end up doing for your grammatical stuff?
Well, I thought that I was pretty good with it. And my beta readers didn't really flag too much. So I felt really good about that side of it. Also, like, you're using a word processor, so they catch, your spelling errors and stuff. But then I had, lucky me, I had Angie Wu.
Yeah, Angie. You gotta love Angie.
Yeah. She looked through my book. She not only looked through my book, she edited the book on a line level. She didn't give me very much developmental notes, except for she told me that at the end she wanted, a certain relationship to have like a better conclusion.
Sure.
And, that kind of thing. But she told me stuff like I was always capitalizing the word bishop and it didn't need to be capitalized. I was capitalizing a lot of things that don't need to be capitalized.
Okay.
And I think that's hard to know.
Sure.
Like, I don't know. I don't have that knowledge ingrained about seasons and directions and titles and jobs and like those kind of things. Like I don't just have that in my head whether they're...
Totally. Sometimes I second guess myself as like when I write something in like mommy, should mommy have a capital M? No, it shouldn't. Like I know that logically in this moment, but like when I'm actually writing it, I put it capitalized because I think of it as a proper noun, like their name.
It is if you're calling them that. Like if I'm
sure?
Yeah, if I'm like, mommy, can I have a biscuit? Then it's capitalized. If I'm if I'm like,
fuck.
But if I'm like, my mommy gave me a biscuit, then it's not. So it's like a nickname.
Yeah. You just say mummy?
Mummy.
You're so cute.
What did you say?
You're so Canadian.
That's what you were saying.
No, I said mommy.
Oh.
But you know what? I'm hosting a kindergarten buy-in party today for my son's kindergarten class. And it's like a school fundraiser thing and everyone bought a ticket, right? And it's a bluey theme. So on the invitation I wrote, hosted by the mums of
like
Graham
with
and
MUM?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, aren't I clever? And you just said mummy. It was so cute.
Oh, I never knew that was a thing. I spell it MOM.
Yeah, but
But I don't say it.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so that stuff she got, which was amazing. And then there was this other thing that I was doing where I would say she shrugged her shoulders, comma, quotation. I don't know, period, quotation.
Okay.
So rather than saying she said, I would just say her body language, right?
Okay.
And that's a sentence. The she shrugged, period. And then the next sentence starts with the quotations, a capital letter.
Right. Sure.
I didn't know that. I thought that, you could just be like, he ran towards her with his arms open, comma, quotation, I missed you, exclamation mark, quotation. I thought that was the same as saying he said.
Sure.
But it's not.
Sure. Okay. I feel like I've seen that a lot, though, in books.
She corrected that for me 1,000 times. Wow. Every single... It was all throughout my text. She didn't just message me and say, hey, when you do this, it means this. You should go back through. She did it for me every single time.
Oh, Angie, what a gem of a human.
I know. And there's nothing I can do. I guess I could pay her. I took her out for dinner.
I could pay her. Well,
I didn't pay her.
It would have been weird to be like, here's $1,000, Angie. Yeah, you take her to dinner. She's your friend. She did it without asking, right?
Without me asking? No, I didn't. I said, can you read this? I'd love to hear your thoughts. I don't feel...
I think she did that out of love and friendship, and that's, wonderful, and you took her out to dinner to show you appreciate. I think that's what you do.
Yeah, okay.
If I went to her and I was like, I hear you you edited Kayla's book. Here's mine. Then I think that would be a whole different story.
It took her a lot of time.
Of course.
I don't think she enjoyed it.
Well, she probably did. That's her profession that she no longer does. Yeah. And she probably finds herself doing it anyway. Yeah. And
honestly, I'm just putting words in her mouth. I don't know how she felt about it, but I guess I think she wouldn't have done it if she didn't.
I don't think so. I don't bake things for people if I don't want to.
Oh, you don't?
No.
You just don't bother.
Or I ask them to pay me. If someone wants me to bake something for them and I don't want to, I say, okay, it's going to be $4 a cupcake. Not going to just make it for them. Yeah. But I will hand people loaves of sourdough all the time.
Right, because you want to. Yeah. So okay. I was wondering about your work. As you go through, has a theme emerged, or do you have a theme for your book?
Besides the overarching murder mystery thing.
Yeah, when you learn at English literature course, they'll say, and what is the theme of this story? And it's sort of like a deeper, sometimes it's sort of like a lesson, or it's like a philosophical, or it's just like the overall vibe or message. When you put it all together, what is it kind of about in essence?
Yeah, I think that this is very much owning who you are, not squashing down feelings that you just don't think serve you, because all of those things do serve you. And the main character, Sam, totally squashed down a part of herself that was huge, thinking that was the right thing to do. And then it ends up exploding, over this night. And on the other side, as we talked about with the Enneagram, I do feel like she started so in her type 1-ness. And by the end, she's emerged into understanding more of herself. Mm-hmm. The overall theme would be accepting yourself, who you are, and what you actually want, and surrounding yourself with people that help you be you.
That's awesome. I vibe with that a lot. Personally, as somebody who's probably in a similar life stage as your character, Sam.
I mean,
as a mom with young kids, exactly. It's the person I was before I got married. How much does that person resemble the person that I am now?
Totally.
And what sides of myself have I squashed down or suppressed because I don't feel like they fit in with the mother and wife lifestyle that I have going on right now.
If this book was to go on and be published and lots of people read it, I think that it's a stage of life, and obviously a much more dramatic version, but so it's a theme that so many people, especially our age, will relate to. you know.
So just for those who don't know what the Enneagram is.
Oh, right.
Rachel and I talked about it really in depth last episode. Don't be scared to listen to that one. I know it says that it's an hour and 40 minutes, but you don't have to listen to it all at once. And it's pretty fun and it's pretty interesting. But one thing that we were saying, so the type 1 that Rachel has characterized Sam, her protagonist, as is somebody who needs everything to be right.
Yes, everything is right or wrong, black or white. It's hard. Everything has to have like justice involved. There's got to be like a reason behind every action.
Yeah. So something that we discussed in the last episode was that I said that I wanted to take the Enneagram test as my protagonist, Lani, to learn more about her.
Yeah, did you do it?
And I did. Oh, but before I get to what type my protagonist turned out to be, excited. Which was like really, really helpful for editing, was I learned something about myself in the taking this like 200 question test for the Enneagram. And it's not because of what my type is, which is type 4. But one of the questions said, when I am stressed out, I tend to rebel or act rebellious. And I said no. And then...
As Lani, as yourself.
No, as me.
Okay, yeah.
And then over the next week, I realized that whenever I am stressed, I am so rebellious. Like,
look at that.
For example, okay, so at my kid's school, it is so frustrating because they have a 10-minute window that you can get your kid in the gate.
Okay.
Literally between 8:15 a.m. and 8:25 a.m. you got to be there and your kid has to walk through that gate. And if you're not there at that time, you have to go all the way around to the principal's office like a fucking loser. Oh, no. And you have to sign the sheet. And the lady is like, why? And stuff. And even if you're like 1 minute late, like I've been walking up there before and whatever, the volunteer will literally shut it as she watches me and my kid walking up to it.
Ew.
Like they're such... See you next Tuesdays. I like this school, and like I am, generally like as peppy as can be when I get there. I'm trying to talk to the other parents. Sure. I'm addressing the children. I'm being like a good member of like the culture and everything. But the other day, it happened again. The lady shut the door in my face, and I have both my kids with me, and I'm walking along the fence. Just as another mom passed me, I said it so that she could hear it. I hate this place.
Oh. Ooh.
Which, okay, I don't know how whoever's listening, if you have kids that are in like an elementary school or whatever, but basically when you have your kids in a school, you are team that school. Like you can support all the other schools and be nice about all the other schools, but basically you are on that school's team.
Agreed.
You volunteer at that school.
Yeah.
When you talk about that school, you say nice things about it. You promote that school.
Sure, yes.
And I was being a little rebel bitch because I was stressed.
Yeah.
I hate this place. Like, who does that? I'm like, it was like a child. And I was like, oh my gosh.
A type 4.
Do type 4s? It didn't say that was a type 4
I don't
thing.
know.
Maybe.
I would say type 4s definitely do that.
I also noticed, with my husband, I rebel. Not that he's a leadership figure, but we are partners, and I'll rebel against the partnership when I'm stressed.
Sure.
And it's so weird to look at that and be like, wow, you need to not go there. Like, why are you going there?
Well, I mean, sometimes you got to go there.
But it also makes me think whenever somebody's driving in the car and they're getting the people who are in traffic and stressed out and flipping people the bird and honking their horn. So that's me.
Sure.
I don't usually honk my horn, but I do give people the finger.
So
it's that's all those people.
Yeah.
They're whatever Enneagram is rebellious when they're stressed.
Sure.
Right?
Or type 8s who are like, it's my way or the highway, There's
yes.
types that just straight up don't give a fuck.
Okay, so
3s.
Does the 4 go to 8 when they're stressed? Because I do.
I think 3s might go to 8. I'm not sure. We would have to look it up. I feel like if you listen to the Enneagram episode, you're going to be like, oh my God, are they going to do this again? But I also do that. So I feel like what you're describing is very 4, because when 1s go to 4, which is when they're stressed, is when I'm like, okay, I can find a workaround of the rules now. Like, and that's when one's willing to get rebellious, is when like I've been scorned, no one's doing it right, so fuck you all, I'm gonna do it wrong too. And then that's when a one will get super rebellious, and like and that does ring true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I know maybe this is boring, but I just want to say one more thing about
Oh, sure, yes, do it.
Okay, so I wonder if that's partly because the 4 is the individualist.
Yes.
And as somebody who wants to be like different, trying to shove me into a little box that is the rules really pisses me off.
Yeah.
Saying that like somebody saying, I can't make an exception for you and your kid. I can't open this gate for 20 more seconds.
Sure.
I'm like, but can't you just be different for a second?
Totally.
Like, can't you be flexible and be different from the ruls for a second? Yeah, I think that's what that is. But I did take the Enneagram test as Lani, and that's my protagonist. I really recommend doing this for character development.
Yay.
It was
love it.
super helpful, especially during the developmental phase of editing, because I found out that Lani is a 2.
Okay.
Which is like the helper.
Yep.
And it's a very loving, helpful person.
Yep.
And so I realized that just basically I'm reading these questions and I'm thinking about my protagonist and I'm just answering as she would. I wasn't actually thinking, oh, what does she do throughout the story? Like, how does she act? I was just kind of like embodying her.
Sure, yeah.
I guess. I think that I've just absorbed her because I've been writing her for so long. But then as I was going back through the book, I'm like, she is helping people all the time.
Yeah.
In every single scene, like if somebody needs something, she's hopping to it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, so then what if she's stressed? Like, how does she act, and does that line up?
Sure.
And like, if there is an opportunity for her to help in a scene, is she helping?
Uh-huh.
And so if she's not helping, then that's going against her character, right?
Yeah, right.
It's really nice to have that, and I think that makes her very like lovable, right? If she's always sort of stepping up and helping. Yeah. I wonder do you know what the 2s are? Oh, 2s go to 8.
2s, I'm not sure. We'd have to look it up. I don't want to look it up. I feel like that's a rabbit hole.
If you take one of the free tests as a character, even if you don't use whatever the type is, and you don't say, oh, my character's a type 2, so I'm going to write her, buy the Enneagram book because this is truly what human nature is. I completely buy into these personality types, whatever. Even if you don't care about that or don't do that, just taking the questions and thinking through it, like thinking through, I'm my character. Am I rebellious when I get mad? And then thinking, no, I would never do that when I'm stressed. Oh, okay. I would never do that when I'm stressed, then you could go, well, what does she do when she's stressed? Well, she has this chapter where she's stressed and she acts this way. She should do something similar when she's stressed later on in these other chapters, just to keep things consistent and make them like a real person. Yeah. So totally recommend that. It really, really worked.
Okay. Well, I love that. I'm so glad it worked.
Yeah.
I am so curious as to where you are in your editing process, and like, you printed out the book, you hated it, you put it in a drawer. Is it still in the drawer?
No. Well,
okay.
No. Yeah. That copy. So I wanted to do what Rachel was doing because it was super cool. So I had one made. I printed out my book and had it it was like, it's bound. It has like a cover and everything. And I was going to go through like she did, but I just couldn't deal with it. So it went in the drawer. It's still in the drawer. But in terms of editing, what I'm doing now is, so I have 3 different point of view characters.
Okay.
Do you have different point of views? Or?
No. Well, now I do. I didn't. But there's a chapter interspersed every once in a while that's from a different point of view.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So,
and they're 2 different people points of view. First half of the book is somebody's point of view interspersed in there, and then the second half of the book is somebody's points of view interspersed in there.
And they're different the interspersal are different people, but the main point of view is always Sam?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so I love how creative that is. For some reason, I thought that I had to do, so these are the character names, John, Jolene, and Lani.
Okay.
I thought it had to be like John, Lani, Jolene. John, Lani, Jolene.
Well, it is a pattern that I've seen in books before.
Yeah. I think thought that that was the way that it had to happen, even though I wrote most of John first. So now what I'm doing is I'm pulling out all of the Lani chapters, because what I heard from my beta readers was that it's her story.
Okay.
Like, even though the other characters get pretty much as much time on the page, they're just like, it's really Lani's story.
Yeah.
I'm going through all of her chapters and feeling like, do they read like a book?
Sure.
Like, if this were a standalone novella or whatever, how's her arc and how's everything? And so that's been really, really great.
Totally.
And then I'm going to put that back in, and then I'm going to I'm going to do that for each character. And then I'm going to make sure that they're in the right place.
Yeah.
So something that was happening before was I have these really high octane chapters for all three characters in a row.
Okay.
So literally one gets abused, one dies, one's friend dies. Like all in the same part of the book. It's like they all, like there's a crescendo, like they all climax at once. And if it were a book with one character, these really big moments of conflict would usually be followed by a chapter or a scene or something of kind of like reflection.
Sure.
So that the reader has a breather. So it's not like just listening to like a heavy metal song, like, ah, like.
Right. Bring them down a little. Like, have it come down.
Yes. And put some white space around the intense moments so that they stand out.
Sure.
Right. So when I'm looking at the Lani chapters together, they do that. I have, this really crazy thing happens, and then she's traveling somewhere, or she's in conversation with someone, or there's like just a little bit of a dip before we get back into things. And I have that with each character, but when you put them together, all the intense parts seem to line up and all the dips seem to line up when it almost should be opposite.
Okay. Are all of their points of view, their story all interlocks?
No, they're all in different times.
Oh, okay.
But you don't realize that they're related to each other until different parts of
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh. So anyway, so that's pretty complex. But right now where I'm at is I'm about halfway through doing Lani. And one thing that I'm learning is that, so I'm cutting a lot of stuff out. I'm reading it through and I'm like, what do I need this chapter to do? I need her to, so there's this one chapter where she arrives at Waterfront Station in Vancouver. She realizes that she doesn't have her purse or any of her money or her ID or anything on her, and she has nowhere to go. And she gets her tarot cards read, and then she meets a friend. So I need her to lose her money, tarot cards read, and meet a friend. But at the beginning of the chapter, I have like 4 paragraphs where she gets on the bus to go to Waterfront Station, and she has these funny interactions, and it's all like mood, and it's like showing like how downtrodden she is and how lost and naive she is and everything. And then I was like, you know what? I don't need to show the reader how she got there. Just because she was somewhere else in the last scene, just because the last time you saw her, she was at this apartment building, doesn't mean I need to show her getting to Waterfront Station. I can just have her getting off a bus.
Yeah.
And I can lose all of these darlings. Like I have these darling little moments.
The darlings
where she comes across like this teenage girl, and the teenage girl is like kind of mean to her, and then this is how she feels, and then she's isolated and whatever. And it's like, well, we already know she's lost. We already know she's isolated. We already know she's socially awkward. So sorry, bitch. That's all gotta go. And then it tightened things up so much. It's like I just gave the, like you would say, like the chewable parts. To the person. So I'm cutting a lot, and that's good because I have way too huge of a word count.
So how much time passes within your, like, just, we don't even have to talk about the whole book, but like with all the characters, but like from Lani's point of view, is this like a year, a week, a day?
A year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to be so curious in Dinner for 8 when somebody else has eyes on it, as to like, there's a lot of, because everything happens in one night in my book. So I'm so curious, so there's a lot of like going up the stairs, coming down the stairs, walking from room to room, and like really having to show like this house layout. You can't hear what's happening from one room to the other because it's like an old house with lots of walls and all this stuff. And I don't know if all of this click clacking and heels around the house is really necessary. Can she just jump from room to room? Because I feel like the traveling there is an important part, or is that a darling? How will that all flesh out? And hearing you say that, her traveling to the station isn't actually
necessary.
Yeah, isn't actually necessary. That really makes me wonder.
Yeah. It's interesting when you talk about the layout of the house and how you do need to know really where they are because of what people can hear and how long it takes people to get to a place from another place. So, yeah, that is interesting. Sometimes in books, they'll have a little map at the beginning.
I've thought about a map. My friend is an architect, and I actually was thinking about having her draw up something for me because there's a place around the side of the stairs that I can clearly see in my mind's eye, but I don't know if I'm properly describing it. And I feel like if I see a layout in real time, or like if in front of me, maybe I'll be able to describe it better. Because there's this main staircase, and majority of the house is 2/3 on one side of the staircase. And then on the other side, there's a third with just a couple rooms on this other side. And it was more like servants' quarters because it's an old house. Mm-hmm. And people don't really go over there, but then some people do go over there.
I think you should. I think having a map would be so cool.
I feel like a map would be cool.
Especially if you could have it as part of your first 5 pages that you send to agents. How cool is that? So I read a book recently that, I wish I could just say what it was but it wasn't that good. I think it was called The Neighbors or something like that.
Okay.
But basically there's these people and they live in this neighborhood, and each person in each house on the block is part of the murder mystery story.
Okay.
So you really need to, it's good to know, who's at the end of the block, who's in the middle, who's beside each other. And at the beginning of the book, there's just a little map. And I found myself referencing that a lot. I was who is she married to? And you just go back and you're like, they live there. They live there. It was awesome.
Yeah.
So say everybody's at the table in the dining room, and you show that Sam wants to go to the kitchen, or you have her say, "Excuse me, I need to check on the hors d'oeuvres," and then some things happen, and then it's the end of the chapter. And then the next chapter, you could just start with her in the kitchen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it seems like because of how your story is written in one night and all the movements really matter, it seems like you might have to find a way to put that in without boring the reader. Say she is climbing the stairs, she should be thinking about stuff.
Totally.
But if you don't really need that, then it should be a line.
Right.
Up the stairs she went again on the left-hand side of the house, period. That's enough, right?
Totally. I guess I do that. So there's this back staircase that was the servant stairs that was kind of behind the kitchen, and she goes up, that's her favorite staircase because that's the easy one, and she doesn't like the first time she climbs up that staircase, she's thinking about how it's ugly and so much better and so much more homey in the back of the house because that's the servants area.
Is that character development what you were doing there, or is it foreshadowing that something crazy happens on one or the other of the staircases?
Oh, definitely both.
Okay, well that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, then that's great. From what I'm gathering from what you're saying about your book, I feel like it would be almost impossible for it to be slow.
Impossible. It's impossible.
And boring. It's one night. It's not like you have a crazy word count. You have 8 characters to describe at least.
Yeah.
And you have a whole game, a whole presumably kind of exciting little game playing out underneath it. And so it's how the fuck could that possibly be?
How could
and somebody gets murdered. I can't imagine, but
okay, sorry. We need to get back to yours. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to derail it into Dinner for 8 again.
No, I don't know what I was even saying. I'm just saying that I'm taking out a lot of stuff. I'm making sure that Lani, when she needs to be helping, is helping. And I also want her to really gain agency by the end of the book because she's so controlled and manipulated by her mother at the beginning that you really need to show her flourishing at the end.
Yeah.
And I think that I was so ready to be done writing it that the last scenes are very like, and then done! Yay! And they lived happily ever after. But like what Angie said to me was, she's like, really? Would they really be okay already? Like, I really want to see like this, how this shook out and things like that. So, and that's really important.
Totally.
The end note of your book, like if people don't like the ending, they're going to be pissed.
Oh yeah. Nobody wants it to be wrapped up too quickly.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yes.
I mean, you don't want it to slog on, but you also don't want it to be wrapped up too quickly.
Yes.
That's why like Breaking Bad was such a great show. It's like it tied. Did you watch Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
You know how like the last few episodes, it was like, I'm ready for this to be over, but all of this still needs to happen. And then they tied it up so perfectly, but they didn't drag it out.
Right.
And it was like, okay, I feel satisfied. And it's horrible. It's a shitty ending, but it's like what needed to happen.
Yeah.
You know, that's what people want, is they want it to be able to be tied up without loose ends.
Yes.
And also without like, nobody wants a rushed, wrapped up job.
Yeah. So I can't rush it. You were asking me before, do my characters surprise me? And actually, yes, they do totally surprise me. Okay. Because when I was writing the first draft, Lani ends up falling in love with someone that surprised me and her and each other. Like it surprises them.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I show enough of their, like, it's almost like with a murder where if the murder happens and you didn't sense anything building, it's sort of not earned, right?
Sure.
I kind of feel like her love story with this person isn't really earned.
Okay.
Like, it's like they have all these scenes together where they're kind of confused about each other, but there isn't this like a chemistry or connection building.
Yeah.
It just sort of like, they just end up in bed together kind of out of circumstance and they're all of a sudden like, whoa.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Okay. Has that ever happened to you?
Ended up in bed with someone and then all of a sudden been like, whoa. I don't know. Has that ever happened to you?
I'm trying to think. I mean, I've definitely slept with people where I'm like,
oops,
that was a stupid choice.
Like, was it like that you made that choice because you were in the moment?
Yeah, it was like, all right, well, we're here.
But it's not like that with them. It's like they're friends.
Right.
But I don't think anyone's expecting them to get together because, it's like, I'm going to give everything away.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking that there was this one time when I was traveling and we were with a group of people and there was like this other group of people. And the people that we were hanging out with were locals. And then we were going to leave and go. And I was like, oh, hey, to this guy. I was like, can I get your number? Like, so, because you guys live over there, we can all hang out and stuff. And I thought nothing of it because he was like 5 years younger than me or something.
Okay.
Or like 3 years younger than me. I just didn't think anything of it. And then I guess he took it like I wanted to be with him.
Yeah. Men get a little excited.
I really had no idea. Like, I was asking sort of them for their numbers and I got him and like whatever. Yeah. And then they come over to watch a movie, like it's just like a whole group of us. And all of a sudden he's trying to hold my hand and I was like, oh! I was very like shocked.
Trying to hold your hand?
But
what a little buttercup.
It was like when he touched my hand, it was like it was like tingles. It was like, oh! Like, I wonder what that is, you know? It's like someone's not even on your radar, and then they touch your hand, and it's like, boom.
Well, it sounds like you do have that in common with Lani, then.
Yeah.
So
I should show maybe, like, her surprise.
Yeah, I think so.
She's not surprised at all when it happens for some reason.
Okay.
She's just sort of, like, floating into it. She's sort of like, oh, look at, yeah. But she should be like, whoa, this is
But she's kind of used to being told what to do. Right?
Yeah.
So is it like she's being told what to do?
Nobody would ever tell her to be with this person.
Okay, but in the moment, is he kind of like
telling her what to do?
Yeah, like kind of ushering the situation?
No.
Because like
they're sort of falling into each other because they've just been through a trauma.
So then maybe the electric moment of like, she's surprised is...
Being surprised is fun.
Being surprised is fun. And I do think that little firework chemistry moment, whether it's real or just perceived in in that one touch, that does happen.
It does happen. Yeah. And it's magical.
Yeah.
Like there's something strange about it because it's like somebody attractive could touch your hand and you would feel nothing.
Totally.
And then somebody that you're not expecting could touch your hand and you just feel something.
Totally.
Why? it could be because where you're at in your cycle.
Oh,
it could be literally the day your egg is just hovering there waiting for a sperm
ovulation
to get it.
Changes everything.
Maybe that's all it is. Or maybe it's pheromones, or maybe it's fate.
I think it's all of it. I think it's all of the above.
Maybe you knew that person in another lifetime.
Maybe. I believe in all of those things. So.
Oh, that's so sweet. I feel like if I believe in anything, it's other lives.
Yeah.
That would be a really cool book or story. Like that whole other lives vibe.
A past lives situation.
Oh my God, I would love to write that. Okay, that's my next one.
Okay.
But I was thinking, you know what? I would really love to write like thrillers.
Yeah.
And thrillers are so commercial.
Sure, everyone likes a thriller.
Yeah. And not to write for a market or anything, but it would be nice to write something that people like are excited to read and like moves them and titillates them.
I mean, in our book group, our last book group a month ago, I mean, that was like a consensus around the table, like trashy thrillers you're super fun.
Yeah.
You know, not saying that your book would be trashy, but like.
And if you can write one that has something that brings something different to the table.
Sure.
I think that's really, really hard.
Yeah.
But if you can, that's amazing. Like with I think Gone Girl was really
Gone Girl's fun.
It was so, I feel like it did something different, right? Because at the beginning you think you like Amy Dunn and you think you hate Nick Dunn. Nick Dunn's this piece of shit. He's cheating on her, whatever. And then you have this epistolary chapters where Amy is writing in her journal and she's so sweet and she loves him so much and all this stuff. And then
spoiler alert.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert if you haven't heard of Gone Girl. And then halfway through, it switches.
Yeah.
Because you realize that these are journal entries that the diabolical Amy wrote and left so that the investigators would think that she was this innocent, loving wife who was killed by her husband. And her husband, you never like him. He's never a likable character, but you realize that he's innocent.
Yeah.
And so I think that that switch was really interesting. Like,
it was.
If you could write a book where, and maybe there's lots of books written like this since or forever, but where you think you like someone and you think you hate someone.
Yeah.
And then halfway through you realize why they're like the way they are, or that one of them is insincere or whatever it is, and it switches.
Totally.
Like, that is so sick.
It is. That was a good book.
Yeah, it was really good.
And they did a good job with the movie too, I gotta say. That was one book made into a movie where they did a decent job.
They did do a good job with that. Listeners, I'm going to be starting to learn about that whole world. So you're probably going to be hearing more about thrillers from me.
Fun. Well, obviously I like those. Yeah. Okay, so story time. You have 2 weeks now between episodes to submit something. Please submit something. We want to hear from you.
Yes.
We want to read your stuff.
Yeah, we do have a poem from my friend Jessie Zeknowitz. So I can't wait to play that for you. And then I'm going to read this crazy, juicy story that I haven't written yet, where the protagonist, when she's aroused, her wetness is glittery cyan and it has some kind of special power.
And then I think I'm going to write another chapter of the
wolf story.
Yeah, wolf, not wolf. Maybe he's a wolf, maybe he's not.
I really want him to grab her by the ankles. Oh my God.
Every time I get those Instagram stories, I screen capture it and send it to you now.
Oh my gosh, Rachel sent me one. I was like, I want these.
Yeah, I don't know why you don't get them. Why am I being pegged for this is the question, because I'm like,
probably the hours that you're awake. You wake up at like 4 a.m. and go on Instagram. They're like, this chick's horny.
And I do have quite a few friends who read romantasy. Do you have friends who read romantasy?
Not really.
Okay, so I have at least 2 to 3 friends who read them and actively like probably follow and look them stuff up. So
have you mentioned this phenomena to those people?
No, I don't think I have.
You should. They probably love those things.
I'll ask my friend Brittany because she would love those.
Be like, hey, Brittany, have you seen this one?
Yeah, right?
Okay, so in 2 weeks from the date that we post this, we're going to do the story time. If you want to get on that story time, please send in just either the text of your short story or poem or a audio recording to
contact@writeyourheartoutpod.com.
Okay, so we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.